All right, we bring you back here to NFL Total Access with some sad news on the passing of the legendary John Madden. Our Tom Pelissero posted this today with the official statement saying in part, quote, "Earlier today we received the sad news that the great John Madden died unexpectedly this morning. He was 85 years old." Bringing back Mike Garafolo, of course, D'Angelo Hall and James Jones for reaction here. And Garafolo, as the news broke just moments ago of John Madden's passing, what has been the reaction and, of course, the impact that we all know of John Madden?
MJ, it's unfolding on Twitter and elsewhere by the moment here, because there is not a generation of NFL fan that John Madden did not touch. He was a coach in the 60s and the 70s, followed by a broadcaster for 30 years across multiple networks with multiple legendary play-by-play men alongside Pat Summerall and Al Michaels. Summerall, of course, the economy of words, and Madden just going on and on about whatever he saw, whether it was in the stands, on the sideline, on the field. That duo, we may never see anything ever like that in a broadcasting booth ever again. And then, of course, the guy behind the greatest sports video game, as far as maybe the greatest video game ever, definitely the franchise for some of the younger folks who never saw any of this footage, who never saw John Madden on a sideline and maybe only caught the tail end of his broadcasting career, but know him through the video game. So John Madden, as Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner, said in that statement, he was football. He referred to him as coach, but he was so much more than that to everyone who has experienced the NFL over the last 4 to 5 decades.
Yeah, John Madden is part of the very fabric of this league and of the game that we all love so much. James Jones, as you're processing the news here, I mean, what are some of the things that you remember of the legendary John Madden?
Man, first off, there was no one like John, man. I had a chance to, meet John and golf with John back in the Bay Area when I was with the Raiders, and, just being able to talk to him. I mean, there was no one like him, man. Full of life, always making sure everybody was good, but just a special person. And like Mike said, man, I mean, this is a dude that he really was football. I mean, you talk about, coaching, you talk about in the broadcast booth. I mean, I heard him call games. I'm like, man, I wish he could call some of mine. I can't wait until he calls mine. But he was just special at doing what he did, man, in the NFL. And then obviously when you talk about the video game and the things he was able to do and change everybody's lives, kids' lives, my kids' lives now with the video game, just no one like him, man. It's sad to hear, man. We love you, John. I mean, this is a big loss, but like I said, there was no one like him.
Now, this is a man who's a Pro Football Hall of Fame coach and broadcaster. D'Angelo Hall, when you think back at what he's contributed to the game that is part of our daily life, you can't go a day without at least glancing at his name or speaking it.
Yeah, absolutely, MJ. I mean, John Madden is the epitome of what you wanted your coach to be like. Just a player's coach, a guy that you could talk to. I had the opportunity to meet Coach Madden as well. Being a part of that Raiders organization kind of opened up some special doors, and being able to interact with John Madden was one of those doors. And I mean, he's the reason I do what I do now, the reason I'm on TV talking, the reason I'm in the booth. I mean, he was inspiring. He taught so many people football, so many generations across all color barriers. Coach didn't see any of that. He just saw great football players and great people. And so he's definitely going to be missed. You guys talk about that video game. I mean, growing up, we all wanted to play in the National Football League, but more so than anything, we wanted to be on Madden. Everybody wanted to be on Madden, wanted to be a part of it. And, John had a big part in moving really that video game to something that no one has ever seen when you talk about just how popular and just how inspiring that is. And so, he's going to truly be missed. When I found out, I mean, my jaw dropped. Because he was such a beacon of hope, man. And, you see him right there just celebrating. No one could ever say anything bad about Coach. And absolutely, he's going to be missed, and prayers out to his family.
Yeah, a tremendous hole is now left across the National Football League, across this country. Those who didn't even follow the game of football still knew who John Madden was. John Madden passes away at the age of 85. We'll take a look back now at his legendary life.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dick Stockton with John Madden.
Hi, everybody. I'm Vin Scully, along with John Madden.
Pat Summerall here with John Madden.
For 30 years, John Madden was the beloved dean of football analysts.
What a way to start a Super Bowl. That's what Cincinnati wants to do.
As the first sportscaster to work for all 4 major networks, Madden built a successful career with his colorful everyman approach.
Boom, you hit him. I mean, that's boom, boom, right to the ground. Some people say, you know, they run in there and they collide or something. I mean, it hits in there, boom. That's what I say.
He makes a little basketball twist there and pivot, and boom, the ball's there right again between the 8 and the 9. Oh, is he happy?
While later generations remember his larger-than-life broadcast persona, it was as the coach of the Oakland Raiders that he first grabbed the spotlight. In 1969, the 32-year-old Madden became the NFL's youngest head coach.
Let's start off and stay after him the whole game.
In 10 seasons with the Raiders, Madden built a dominating team. He boasts one of the best regular season winning percentages of any coach with 100 victories. He won 3 of every 4 games.
Well, John Madden was the Raiders. I mean, his personality, his intensity, his persona, everything about John, his appearance, was ideally suited for the Raiders. These guys responded to him when possibly they couldn't have responded to anyone else, no matter how smart or gifted they'd be.
We like John. He was a player's coach. He let us play football. He let us have fun. And we won. We wanted to win for him. And that's really the key to coaching in the National Football League, is will the players play for you? And he always gave us a chance to do what we had to do as a team. He always stressed, whatever you guys do, just do it together and do it as one.
I only had 3 rules, and, you know, to be on time, you know, like if we're going to have a meeting or somebody, everyone's on time and do that, and to pay attention. You know, listen when you're speaking, because if you're going to teach, you have to listen. And then play like hell when I tell you to. Play like hell on Sunday.
Here comes the rush. He sidesteps. Can he throw? He can. The ball flipped forward is loose. A wild scramble. 2 seconds on the clock. Casper grabbing the ball. It is thrown a fumble. Casper is recovered in the end zone. Madden is on the field. He wants to know if it's real. They said yes. Get your big butt out of here. He does. This one will be relived forever.
Despite their regular season success, a Super Bowl championship remained elusive. The Raiders played in and lost 5 AFC title games in 7 years.
We were that close, and I mean, if I felt frustrated by that, how about the guy that was that far away? You know, he was really frustrated. So I always thought, you know, we have a good team, and we just have to kind of get one more thing here.
In 1976, it all came together for Madden and the Raiders in Super Bowl 11. Their defense pummeled the Minnesota Vikings. Their offense shattered the Super Bowl record for total yards. And the victory catapulted Madden's team to the top of the NFL.
And he looks and throws. Intercepted by the Oakland Raiders. Running around at the 30, 40, 50. He's going all the way. Old man Willie.
Perseverance, you know, keep getting up. You get knocked down, get up, get up, get up, keep getting up. John's a big fight fan. I'm a big fight fan. You know, in a good fight, the last one up wins.
With patience and faith, Madden coached his team to its greatest prize. 30 years after that achievement, he was still waiting for his ultimate recognition.
For the much anticipated Pro Football Hall of Fame Class of 2006 announcement press conference.
Someone says, do you want me to turn this off or turn it down? And I go, no. I said, I didn't make it, but let's watch it, see who did make it.
John Madden.
I didn't come down or remember anything for 24 hours. My son happened to have a camera, and he took a picture of that moment. And I don't remember what I looked like or what happened, but I just had tingles all over me. I've never been so emotional for so long. I mean, the feeling didn't go away. we watched the NFL Network. They're going to announce it, and I said, they can't take this away, Ken. I mean, they can't say we're kidding. We want it back. You can't, fly to Hawaii. You can't have it. They said, no, we can't take it away. I said, hey. Today feels like the second time in my life that I'm being carried off the shoulders of others. This has been the sweetest ride of them all. Thank you.